Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for another edition of On the Record presented by CalledIt. I'm your host, Danny Burke, and we are excited to join you on this Monday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are throughout the world. But we have plenty to talk about throughout the world on today's show. And joining me to help will be Adam Kaufman and Cormac Lichty, and we will be hitting everywhere. We've got action on the diamond, a little bit of Major League Baseball. We got one game that we're going to be circling out that may or may not be involving our daily call that is always to be found at CalledIt.media, where you could sign up for free to check out our daily call, a trade that we are making every single day. You can follow, you can go the opposite direction, or you can make your own to see how you stack up amongst the rest of our community on the leaderboard at CalledIt.media to sign up for free and join in on the action. So we'll be talking plenty of Major League Baseball momentarily. Naturally, the World Cup getting closer and closer. We'll delve into that. I know Cormac especially is excited to give his 2 cents on the top goal scorer, aka the Golden Boot for the World Cup. That market being posted at Polymarket and Kalshi for quite some time. So we'll be sure to dive deep into that and see if there's any value with some of these longer trades at both of those prediction platforms. And then we'll step a little bit outside of the box, as we're always going to try to do here on the record. Take it maybe outside of sports, because we're not just talking sports, business, politics, pop culture, whatever the heck it may be. Tonight, we're going a little extraterrestrial. Yes, we're going to be talking about aliens and what you can trade revolving around those species. You're going to want to stick around for it. Trust me, it's going to be some spirited debate here on the record. But let's go ahead and introduce our guests. Again, we have Adam Kaufman, ladies and gentlemen, who you can catch on X at Adam M. Kaufman, diehard Boston sports fan. And hey, a diehard Celtics fan. And it didn't necessarily go great for his team throughout the postseason. But Adam, you and I, as you know, we're pretty familiar here. And I'm a Bulls fan, so I had nothing to root for in the postseason. Your team eliminated a little bit earlier in the playoffs. We've had some excitement after that. And I know it's just an avid basketball fan, still following extremely close. We know the NBA Finals matchup now, Knicks, Spurs. Who would have thunk it, man?
See, I thought you were going to intro me and say Boston sports fan. And guess what, everybody? It's June 1st. What does that mean to Patriots fans? It's A.J. Brown Day. This is the day, finally, after all of the cap ramifications and delayed salary penalties and yada, 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 that New England is expected to complete that much anticipated deal with Philadelphia to get themselves a number 1 wide receiver, the Patriots, to pair with Drake May and A.J. Brown. That's what I'm looking forward to today. I don't want to talk about the Celtics, Danny, and all the disappointment ending in round 1, blowing a 3-1 lead against Philadelphia. But yes, we are both avid, basketball fans. And with that, excited about the start of the NBA Finals. And the thing that I can't understand, I know a lot of people want to look at the Knicks and say, okay, there's a rest element, and this team has just been kicking its feet up and club medding it for a week and a half before finally they will tip off, decimated the competition, torched the Hawks after an early 2-1 deficit, embarrassed the Sixers, who never should have been there in the first place, and then had their way with the fraudulent Cavaliers. Well, guess what? Path is the path. I get it. But you have got an insanely talented San Antonio team that is waiting on the other side after just going through really a 7-game war of attrition with the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. Are they a little bit banged up, a little bit battered? Sure, somewhat, but everybody's going to be out there for game 1, and there's no real value in, trading on the Spurs to win this series. But if you want to get a little bit greedy and you think very highly of San Antonio, as I do, 46 cents to the yes. On minus 1.5 games on the series spread. If you think San Antonio not only wins, but avoids a game 7, takes care of this thing in 6 games or fewer, as I do, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a 5-game gentleman's sweep. But minus 1.5, 46% to the yes. That is plus money in your pocket. To me, that is, it's my favorite way to invest my money in this series. First thing I did when I looked at the lines.
Ooh, okay. All right. Big on San Antonio is Adam, and I'm sure we'll get deeper into that as the week progresses. But like you said, some unique areas that you can trade, whether it comes to total games played, series spread, outright winner, all of those different types of trades are available at Polymarket and Kalshi, which makes it so fun and gives us alternate angles and edges to find, which we love to do here on the record. Other side of me, we've got Cormac Lichty, who is going to be so pumped for the next couple of weeks and beyond because his favorite sport's soccer. We've got the World Cup, the biggest stage. Cormac, my friend, it's a pleasure to have you on as always. And I know we've met a couple times now. We've chatted a little bit on the pitch, but I mean, man, how are we feeling heading into the World Cup? Getting closer and closer. I'm sure you're just giddy about it.
I couldn't be more excited. I really, really couldn't be more excited. And I think a little bit it's somewhat surreal to think that the World Cup's in the U.S. I'm a little disappointed that there are no games in Chicago, which is the closest major city for me. But I'm so excited for the World Cup, and yeah, I'm excited to see some greatness from hopefully the United States this year, but even more so also just from some of the maybe the Manchester United players, and just generally it's the world's game. You wait 4 years for this tournament, so I'm over the moon excited. Yeah.
Yeah, we know you're a diehard Man U fan. Who are some of the top guys you're looking forward to watching, perhaps trading on some of their props? Who are you most excited about watching?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm excited for all of the players for United that are going to be playing in the World Cup. I think the most obvious answer would be Bruno Fernandes. Of course, he's going to be playing in probably, well, I think the best midfield in international football. And I would even go as far as to say that with Neves and with Vitinha, who just came off winning the Champions League with PSG, two of the standout players, Vitinha winning man of the match in the final, although I thought that was a bit questionable. I think that Bruno Fernandes is going to have a fantastic tournament. I think Mateus Cunha playing for Brazil is a huge opportunity for him. And then technically still a player at Manchester United, even though he's returning from loan, Marcus Rashford for England. He's one of my favorite footballers ever. So I'm really excited to see what he does this tournament as well.
Can't wait, my friend. And we'll be sure to get plenty more into the soccer world, like we said, here on the record, as we'll get into top goal scorer markets, aka Golden Boot, when it comes to how those prices are trading at Kalshi and Poly Market for some of the biggest names when it comes to the World Cup coming up in about a week and a half. Going to be so fun. Cannot wait to continue watching that and trading on that here at Called It. Now, speaking of what we're doing at Called It, if you missed our inaugural show, a challenge that we introduced is called the Run, and that's actually going to play into effect with our first market we are going to be talking about. So what the Run is, it's us starting with a $250 investment. And what we're doing is we're making one trade per day. And if it comes through for us, great. We roll it over to the next day. And the ultimate goal is to go 12 days straight and work our way up all the way to $1 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, folks. $250 investment up to $1 million. Now, over the weekend, we did have the streak snapped. PSG did lift the trophy, but they didn't win in regulation. So that's why it came to a halt. And much like that, we're starting over. If it happens again today, where the trade does not come through on the right side for Called It, then simply we'll start over the next day. That is the fun of our challenge, the Run, trying to get that ultimate goal from 250 up to $1 million. And for our daily call and the selection, when it comes to the Run, that's going to take us to the diamond, as we alluded to. We've got a pretty solid matchup taking place in St. Louis. You've got the Rangers and the Cardinals, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, first pitch right now at Poly Market. The Rangers trading at 53 cents, meaning a 53% chance the market believes that Texas comes out on top. The Cardinals on the other side, you can trade at 48 cents, naturally 48% chance that they are going to come through according to the market. Pitching matchup wise, you've got the veteran right-hander, Jacob deGrom, taking on the young right-hander for St. Louis, Michael McGreevy. Cardinals just took 2 out of 3 against my Cubbies, so no bueno for Chicago. Shocker there. They've been all over the place, but the Cardinals got the best of the Cubbies. On the other side, the Rangers, nice sweep of the Royals, so they are on a 3-game win streak. Adam, let's kick it to you, my friend. When you see this price, when you see the pitching matchup, what piques your interest between these two teams?
Well, listen, I think and it is what it is. I think we're a little late in the sense that right around, a little after midnight Eastern time, I was looking at this, and I was looking at this game because I love to invest in baseball. And actually, I love to invest in the Texas Rangers lately. This was 50 cents. This was a split. It was 50 cents per side. As you said, it's moved to the yes, 53, 54 cents, depending on where you do your trading. But I'm on board with the call today. I am very much in favor of the Rangers. You know this. I'm someone who leans into streaks. And this Rangers team, sure, it was against the Royals. And yes, the Royals stink now with 6 straight losses. But that was an impressive offensive sweep. We saw Texas power 22 runs over the course of those 3 games. The Cardinals, sure, impressive win last night against, your Cubbies, but it's a team that really has struggled prior to that, losses in 5 out of 6. The offense in those 5 losses anyway, totaling only 9 runs, and that includes a 6-run outburst in one of those games. So the offense has been largely non-existent for St. Louis, whereas Texas is just hitting all over the ballpark of late. And so starting with the streak, yeah, I lean into the Rangers and I still see some value in that number. But independent of that, I also just think it's a good pitching matchup. As well as McGreevy has pitched this season, he's coming off of 2 straight losses where not only has he not gotten any help, his team has been shut out in both of those games, so you can only put so much on him, but he has allowed 8 runs, 17 hits across 9 innings. He has been miserable lately. Jacob deGrom, while he has posted very similar numbers on the season to McGreevy, the ERA is even a little bit better at sub-3 for McGreevy. He's a flamethrower. He's coming off a solid outing against the Astros. I just think it's a good spot. Now, you could look at home road splits and say, oh, St. Louis a little bit better at home, Texas, not so great on the road. I don't care. Isolated. I am, again, already invested. Before I even knew what the call was for today, I was already invested in the Rangers, and I'm going to continue to lean into this Texas team until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, so CalledIt trading the yes. They had 54% conviction, while the market at the time that it was released was trading at 52%. Now you see it ticking up a bit to 53% at Polymarket. But ladies and gentlemen, this is why we encourage you to subscribe. It's free. If you head to CalledIt.media, you get the daily call, you get the emails, you get the breakdowns early on so you can get the best of the price. But I still agree, Adam. I'm with you and I'm with CalledIt. I think it's a viable look at the Rangers, the price of 53%. You talk about McGreevy. I mean, solid ERA of 2.98, but his expected ERA is all the way above 5. It's 5.64. So a lot of concerns with his underlying numbers that perhaps make the Rangers a very valuable spot. Cormac, we got to get your 2 cents so here, my friend. In terms of this matchup, are you siding with Adam, myself, and CalledIt, or are you maybe looking at the underdog position here with St. Louis?
You know, I think it would be easy to probably agree with you guys here, but I am actually going to go for the underdog. I'll go with the Cardinals. And I think that as much as I do like what Adam says, talking about form, talking about the streak that the Rangers are on, I think that there's going to be the biggest advantage for St. Louis in the fact that, actually, Adam mentioned this as well. Look at the course of this season. They're 500 at home. And also, you look at the Rangers, they are 13-18 away. So a poor away record versus a strong home record. I think that Busch Stadium is one of the best venues in all the MLB. So I am going to side with the home crowd today. I think they're going to get the Cardinals over the line. And yeah, that's my call.
All right, you heard it there, Cormac. He's going on the side of St. Louis, trading at 48 cents if you want to look at that home underdog position. But again, for the run, our challenge, CalledIt, not only the daily call, but also implemented for the run, selecting the trade on Texas, 52 cents earlier in the day. But now 53 cents. Adam and I still seeing value with the Texas Rangers in this position on the diamond as we are talking some baseball. But let's go ahead and move on, gentlemen, because we have got plenty to dissect on the pitch with some World Cup markets also at Polymarket. How about top goal scorer, aka Golden Boots? Mbappe, to no surprise, he is 17 cents at the top of the charts right now to be the top goal scorer for the World Cup in 2026. Harry Kane, 14 cents. A little bit farther down the line, Lionel Messi at 6 cents. Ronaldo at 6 cents. Cormac, are we just looking for some of the chalk here? Or do you see some value with some names that maybe people aren't discussing enough about?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing with predicting this in the World Cup is that it comes down to really 2 or 3 factors. The first factor is realistically just how far your team gets, right? You can be the best striker in the world, but if unfortunately your team loses in the group stages, You've played, what, 3 matches? So I think the most important thing is not only finding a player who you believe will go far, their nation will go far in the tournament. You want to have also, very important, a player that takes penalties. A penalty is an opportunity to get on the score sheet, regardless of, you could have the worst match on planet Earth, but if your team wins a penalty, this is not the NBA. If you have to get fouled to get the free throw. In soccer and football, it doesn't matter who gets fouled. If you're in the box, you get the penalty. So I think that's incredibly important. I will look at Kylian Mbappe. He was the top goal scorer in the last World Cup, of course, in 2018. Phenomenal as well. He's got 12 goals in 14 games in the World Cup, which is incredible. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes the all-time top goal scorer in the World Cup after this tournament. And we know he turns up internationally. So I look at Mbappe. I also look at Haaland. Maybe that's where you find the value here, because even though Erling Haaland and Norway aren't necessarily the strongest team on paper, of course, I believe this is one of the first World Cups they've qualified for, major tournaments they've qualified for, and at least in recent times. And the thing about Haaland is that even when Norway aren't at their best, even when Norway loses matches, Erling always comes away with something. He always comes away with something. I think he's an absolute goal machine. You see it at the club level for Man City, also at the international level. He's got 55 goals in 49 games for Norway. So I think that I see the most value. Haaland, Mbappe, could be Kane or Yassabal. I'm not so sure about. I think that he's a strong player, but of course also, even though Spain are so good, I don't look at him individually as necessarily a standout in that side.
Sure. And Adam, when you hear some of this breakdown, I mean, with Haaland again, Norway, this is his first debut in the World Cup. Maybe a questionable decision to look toward a team that may not make it that far. You are getting a little bit of value with an outstanding player at 7 cents. Does that pique your interest in this market? Or again, do you maybe look toward the Mbappe, which may not be fun to go with the chalk here, but hey, sometimes if it's going to cash in your trade, so be it.
Well, listen, I just want to win money, right, is kind of the bottom line when it comes to this thing. And so I'm not going to say there isn't value in price. Of course there is. We know how trading works. But sure, you could look. If you're getting sub 20 cents, as we are on Mbappe, on Kane, it's awfully tempting. Here's the thing. I love listening to our guy when it comes to soccer, because I am just naive enough to be dangerous, Danny. And there are 2 names that I looked at that are not the chalk, that are sub 8 cents to the yes, and one was Erling Haaland, absolutely, but of course with the very viable concern of, does Norway get through? We know this dude is a finisher. We know he is an elite striker, perhaps the best goal scorer in the world from the striker position as of right now, but again, you just can't depend on Norway to get through. Now, I want a little more pedigree. I want a little more experience, and I want to look at matchups, and that's why at 6 cents, Lionel Messi. I mean, call me a little bit crazy leaning into an element of fate here, Danny. I didn't know what we were going to be talking about today when I went out with my kids yesterday. Personal little story. I took them to their first ever sports card trading show. They went in, eyes just wide open. It was Christmas morning. It was Disneyland. It was all of the things, surrounded by hundreds of tables of dealers trading in their own right, obviously. And they make their way over. And my 11-year-old, big soccer player in and of himself, goes and picks up his first ever graded card. And who was it other than Messi? It spoke to me. It spoke to me, Danny. Messi at 6 cents to the yes. For a guy who obviously the offense runs through Argentina, first and foremost, we know how gifted, how talented a scorer this guy is. Now, does Argentina have to worry about managing his minutes, his workload, his age, all of those things? Absolutely on the table. But the thing is, weak group stage matchups could lead to a lot of goals for Argentina, a team that is constantly on the attack, not unlike Brazil, not unlike France, not unlike Portugal. It's just a great spot for Argentina to not only hopefully advance and get more matchups, but for Messi to just consistently find the back of the net. And so that's where I would invest. That's who I like.
It could be Kismet, Cormac. I mean, if you're willing to put your hard-earned money making a trade on what Adam's kid pulled out at at an event yesterday, hey, 6 cents for arguably the greatest player of all time. Is that enough to convince you to follow him in his child's lead?
Well, here's the thing, right? I do see the value in Messi, and of course, in the last World Cup, use it as an example. Argentina is a very strong team. I mean, they've made it to two of the last, three World Cup finals. So I see the value in choosing somebody from Argentina. My only problem is that if you look at this Argentina side, you look at their strongest players, although I do think Messi is probably still their best player, my one question is he going to be an advanced enough player that he's going to be able to be the top goal scorer? Because Messi, we know, as much as he is a goal scorer, he's also a playmaker. He's somebody who will drop a bit deeper and create plays. So it's not really a question of whether he has the quality to do it, but more so, will he be the guy that's passing the ball to put it in the back of the net, or the guy actually putting it in the back of the net? And I look at, for example, Julian Alvarez for Atletico Madrid, who's coming off a fantastic season. And I really see him as the main goal scorer for Argentina, whereas Messi, while he will play a very, very crucial role, probably the most important player for Argentina still, I'm not convinced that he will be the top man even for his nation, really, as far as goal scoring goes.
See, Danny, I thought he was going to say, so here's the thing. I don't like kids. Let's start with that.
I don't trust your kid, man. I'm not diving into that.
That's right.
Hey, fair enough. Well, it's a fun market nonetheless. And again, plenty of options to choose from both on Polymarket and Kalshi. So a lot of fun coming ahead for the World Cup in 2026, which I know Cormac specifically will be going crazy with as we get closer next week once it begins. Maybe you guys are going crazy with this as well. We are taking this next one. You're going to hate me for this. Out of this world. Yes, I had to do a pun here. I apologize for the corniness there. But here's the thing about these prediction platforms. You can literally trade on anything, even aliens. So how about it? Scientists have discovered an alien-like blue octopus lurking off the Galapagos Islands, which has sparked many Kalshi and Polymarket traders to begin trading on when the United States of America will confirm that aliens do in fact exist. So they have multiple different years there that you can take a look at. In Kalshi right now, before 2027, trading at 16.7% on the yes, obviously 16.7 cents. Before 2028, you can look at it at 24% chance. Before 2029, January 20th, 33% chance. Cormac, I'm gonna throw it to you, brother. How big are you into the alien game here? Are they going to confirm? I mean, look, they've been releasing UFO files, the White House has, so I don't think it's too far-fetched that this could actually come to fruition. Is it worth an investment, though? That's, of course, our question to you.
Well, look, first things first, when I heard we were going to be talking about aliens, I was convinced we were talking about Victor Wembanyama, to be honest. But no, as far as I'm concerned, I believe aliens exist 100,000%. Just from a scientific view of it, an alien, by the definition of it, is just any type of organism that is coming from another planet. So if a little bit of moss grows on Mars, you got an alien right there, right? And so I have no doubt with the number of planets that are in not only, more so our universe, the galaxy out there, there are so many different ways to look at it. Now, the real question is, it's not only a question of do they exist, it's about the confirmation as well. They could exist and it could be a well-established thing, but it's about the confirmation. So that's where, I think I'm not sure that it's going to be coming before 2027. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get that confirmation unless there's something that is undeniable.
Adam, we obviously know you have insider information to what the government will confirm with extraterrestrials. So we defer to you for your thoughts on this. Will it be confirmed before any of these years?
I don't know why we're overcomplicating this. There's already someone with orange skin living in the White House. You can't rule these things out, right? Look, in all seriousness, as it relates to Donald Trump and this administration, you're going to tell me that he wouldn't love to be the first president in office to be able to declare alien life and confirm it. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that follows you forever and ever. Not that some things that haven't happened over multiple administrations won't anyway, but that's one that sticks with you, maybe even in a positive way. I just think the whole alien life, extraterrestrial, like the conversation, which obviously goes back decades upon decades, and it's just like there's nothing more, I'll say American, but honestly it's all of us across the globe. There's nothing more arrogant, nothing more human than believing that we are the only ones that exist across the entire universe, and no other planets have life until we just happen to take some time out of our busy days and go and visit you. I mean, give me a break. Of course there's alien life. Now, whether it exists here on Earth in some form, I have no idea. I would love to see that confirmation. I'm not looking for some, Independence Day takeover, something out of the Avengers, or getting insane. I don't want to see Thanos come on by with the Infinity Stones. But yeah, I tend to believe there's other life out there, because the level of arrogance that it would take to believe that there isn't is just off the charts.
I mean, Cormac, again, I think he makes a pretty good point about this administration. I mean, again, they're releasing these UFO files. That's probably the best point I've heard about this, just wanting to be the first president to confirm it. I don't know if I'd go as far as before 2027, 2028 at 27 cents. I think that's where I would actually, if you just have some fun, right? A little bit of pizza money there, just sprinkling a tad bit of a trade on the before 2028, I could be sold.
I hadn't considered the fact, that's a great angle to address, because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, NASA, they're going to confirm this. We're going to need some very scientific proof here. But then you dropped the trump card on me, and you know what? I'm starting to see the vision here. You know what? That would be I think that might be the greatest thing that he maybe has done in office. So if he can confirm that, why not go for it?
Just trying to make America great again, guys.
Yeah, make the universe great. And at that point,
there you go.
Expanding.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, there you have it. We have hit just about everything from the diamond to the pitch to outer space, and that's the beauty of these prediction platforms and what we cover here on the record. Again, big shout out to Adam Kaufman. You can catch him on X at Adam M. Kaufman, covering all sports, especially Boston-wise out there on the East Coast. Appreciate you as always, Adam. And also Cormac Lichty at Cormac_United on Instagram and TikTok. So make sure to check out all of his content, especially with the World Cup looming near. He will have you covered all over the place. For myself at Danny Burke 5 for Called It, make sure you head to CalledIt.media. You can sign up. It is completely free for the newsletter and to get info on our daily call. So you can follow that. You can fade it. You can put your own trades to see how you're stacking up amongst everybody else. And more importantly, you can follow our exciting challenge, The Run, where we are looking to turn a $250 investment all the way up to $1 million in the daily call. And our trade today for The Run, the Texas Rangers. Called It had a trading at 52 cents. But it moved up to 53 cents, but the conviction price that Called It has, they labeled it at 54 cents. So still plenty of value to be had. That is the conviction call of the day for Called It Media. Can't wait to see how that one turns out. But appreciate you all tuning into us. We will be back later this week on Thursday for another edition of On the Record. Make sure you set your notifications and sign up so you can get tapped in then. But in between, so you don't miss any of the other content, I can't stress it enough, folks. CalledIt.media to get yourself lined up with all the action we have going on. So until next time, best of luck with all your trades. Thank you for tuning in and take care.